Hello and welcome to Season 3, Episode 4 of our Stu and Coco podcast. Today we'll be interviewing James Ivey of Falkus Joinery post its acquisition, so it's now an independent joinery shop. They provide high-end residential and commercial office fit-out specialist pieces, which includes, vanity units, wall panelling, dressing rooms, and other bespoke joinery items, but not just joinery, as you'll hear more in our interview now. Welcome, James Ives, Head of Commercial and Operation for Falkus Joinery. Thank you for joining us today.
Hello, everyone.
James, for any of our viewers who don't know Falkus Joinery, I know that the business has been established for 100 odd years, right?
Yeah.
But tell the viewers a bit about the history and the journey of the business.
Yeah, so off in, I think, 1919, when Falkus Joinery was founded, they were sort of working for the Jerome Falkus construction company, and they were predominantly their own in-house joiner. And yeah, they used to do a lot of things like the banks in London and a lot of really nice projects. And throughout time, sort of moved and grown and become a limited company in 1955.
I'm with you.
And as they've grown, they've sort of stepped away from being just a Jerome Falkus joiner and stepped out into the market, working for other customers, clients, and so on.
And I guess the interesting piece is bringing us more up to what's happening currently. Falkus Joinery has been through an acquisition, so it's now an independent force. Tell us more about the acquisition.
That's right. Yeah. So in August, that was completed, and Falkus Joinery are now independently owned. I've come on board as head of commercial and operations to sort of be the man on the ground, and yeah, it's an exciting chapter, and looking forward to really making something of Falkus Joinery and giving it some love that I don't think it's really had before.
Yeah. In terms of, I've not been fortunate enough to come and see your shop, but in terms of the provision of services, I know you've got internal spray booths, and you've got something like 12 benches, haven't you?
Yeah. So we've got 12 benches. Our own machine shop, CNC, veneer equipment, so pressing, edge banding, and so on. In-house spray shop, like you mentioned. So yeah, it's all in-house, which is great. Right.
And have you got anything in terms of solid surfaces?
Yeah, so solid surfaces, we're Himax approved manufacturer. So we do all that in-house as well, which is great, like your curved reception desks and countertops and things like that.
So fundamentally, what you offer out of Shoreditch, so from a central London-based operation, is you've got design, fabricate, install provision across multiple facets in terms of materials. You've got hard surfaces, veneering in-house, and obviously final decorations. In fact, talking about that, tell us about how you've made a change in the last 6 months.
Yeah, so originally Falkus, they were supply only, mainly. They did get involved in the odd install job, but didn't really like to. Which sort of cuts us out of the market quite a bit. So the first change that we've done is got our own fitting team on board. So directly employed fitters, top quality guys, and yeah, straight away we're sort of able to install all the joinery that we manufacture, which is great, because ideally someone wants to order a piece of joinery, they want it designed through to being installed and be able to put their clothes in it or whatever it may be.
So in terms of speed of delivery, because I guess that's your ace trump card. From initial specification or certainly architectural instructions through to delivery on, say, bespoke reception desk, what are we talking?
For something like a reception desk, we can probably turn it around in about eight weeks from picking up an architect's drawing, on the basis that we get the design signed off. You know what it's like. Sometimes you don't get any changes and you get a status A straight away, and then the next day it's in production. Sometimes people like to change things, but yeah, 6 to 8 weeks we can jump on it straight away. Like we have a client at the moment, Chancery Lane project.
Can you plug the client, or is that inappropriate?
What's that? Sorry.
Can you plug the client, or is it inappropriate?
Yeah, it's McLaren Construction.
Oh, yeah.
So 150 Holborn is the job.
Yeah, lovely.
Right outside Chancery Lane station, and there was a change to something that was installed. Something wasn't really thought about, and a day later, we've got the joinery designed, and it's going into production already. So they flagged the issue. I think it was yesterday morning. By yesterday lunchtime, they had a drawing. Made a quick change. By yesterday evening, they had another drawing, and this morning it's going into manufacture. Right. So we're all about sort of, if someone's got a problem, we are there to help them. I know what it's like working in as a main contractor. When you need things doing, you need them doing straight away. You can't be waiting sort of 2 or 3 weeks for a drawing to be done. If it's urgent, we understand the urgency as well, and yeah, work together with our clients to deliver.
And how have you found, James, in terms of the challenges of getting raw materials into the shop, right? And price fluctuations in the market over the last 6 months or so. How have you found that's affected your lead on times to your clients?
Yeah, so it's had a big impact. Prices have gone up 40–50% on raw materials in our industry, and yeah, availability. Everyone seems to be buying up the stock, and then you can't get sort of what you could get in 2 days. Now you're looking at 2 weeks. So we're having to think about it in advance, and choose what we're manufacturing our jobs out of, really. Yeah. If the job's urgent, then we'll make it out of something that we know we can get straight away, something we've got in stock, or so on.
Yeah, that makes sense. What would you say are the most acute shortages? What are you trying to steer either specifiers or principal away from, and two, in terms of product alternatives?
So sheet materials, you get your 8x4 and your 10x4. 10x4s are quite hard to get hold of these days, especially your thicker, unfamiliar boards, fire rated, things like that. Same with ply. Larger sheets of plywood. We might have a job where we need a 3 meter by 1.5 board, but we'll have to do it out of something else, or put a join in it or something like that. Design it in a way that we know will be all right to deliver it on time.
What you've mentioned is design in-house. Tell our viewers about the change in terms of being able to design and program in-house that you didn't do previously.
Yeah, so Falkus outsourced all of their design, which doesn't really give you a good sort of handle on things. If you get a drawing that you want changing, it's good to shout across the office and can you jump on this and update it straight away, rather than, you know what it's like, you pick up the phone and can't get hold of someone, voicemail, they phone you back, miss their call and so on. So now we've got in-house designers, which is great. And then along with the CNC, a lot of things that we do these days come off the CNC. So when you get your bomb kit seating with your curves and your ribs and your formers and all things like that, it's all off the CNC. So yeah, before it was all external, or don't get me wrong, some people in-house knew how to do it, but just not what someone who's doing it full time would know. Yeah, so now we've got that in-house, which is great.
And I guess that cuts down on time, and I guess that cuts down on wastage, right? Yeah.
So knowing sort of how to nest your materials on, how many pieces you can get on a board, different ways you can manufacture it and utilize the CNC, all saves on wastage, which is what we want.
Yeah, good for profit margins and good for the planet.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good. So I think we've got a couple of key things there. Ultimately, Falkus Joinery, if we're plugging Falkus Joinery, new, independent. In terms of service provision, we're now doing design in-house. We're now doing programming in-house. We're having the ability also to provide supply and install. So you're doing a full turnkey design, fabricate, installation service built out of the heart of London, the very highest quality, using multiple elements.
The market's quite busy, and which is good. But we're able to sort of look ahead and see what jobs we can shuffle around, and if someone needs something doing straight away, we'll see what we can do to squeeze it in.
And talking about productivity, again, giving you a plug opportunity, tell us about the increases in productivity that you've pulled out of the shop in the last 6 months.
Yeah, so since coming on board, previously there's quite a bit of downtime in the factory. Don't think jobs were flowing through quick enough. But yeah, since August, our productivity's increased by 75%.
Wow.
Which is, it's massive. Not really doing anything different, apart from feeding them more work, and sort of managing the production better.
As we know, the worst thing you can have is a joinery shop with people standing around doing nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so everyone's busy. Overtime, evenings and weekends.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
And tell us about, we've obviously made a big plug about Falkus Joinery being in London, based out of Shoreditch, isn't it? Based out of Shoreditch.
Yeah.
Tell us about plans for the future and how you plan on improving that productivity, service and volume.
Yeah, so like you say, so currently we're in Shoreditch. Our factory is circa 8,000 square foot, but we're sitting on sort of a bit of prime real estate in the middle of Shoreditch at the moment. So we won't be staying here together forever even, and we're in the process of purchasing our own factory out of London, which is circa 13,000 square foot.
Wow.
So
north of 50% in terms of volume.
Yeah. So investment, obviously, to buy our own factory, new machines that we're investing in, So a beam saw, which allows us to get panel products cut up a lot quicker and into the production line, as well as a edge bander. We do have an edge bander, but we need a bigger one.
Yeah.
Just to enable us to do things a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Different things with solid profiles, etc. So yeah, we've got that, which is all going on in the background. Looking to relocate early part of 2022, and yeah, it's all going to be new and all singing, all dancing, which is going to increase our productivity even more than where we're at currently.
Good. No, listen, James, that's fantastic news and really exciting.
Yeah.
For you and the team. You know, this has been a reasonably unashamed plug of Falkus Joinery, and I guess the reason being is that you've joined us at Granite this year in supporting our charity, the Movement Centre, and you've very kindly agreed to be our sponsors for our bauble campaign.
Yeah, that's right.
So look, I just wanted to let our audience know that baubles are back for 2021. We ran the campaign last in 2019, obviously couldn't do it in 2020, and we managed to raise a substantial amount for the Movement Centre, which is a great children's charity. It's a British charity, and it's about helping young disabled kids get back on their feet, or at least get life-changing, life-altering skills. We're very proud to be in partnership now with Falkus, and basically for every bauble that we manage to shift in terms of charitable contributions, we match it as Granite Search, and so do Falkus Joinery. So I just wanted to say to you, James, thank you for being our sponsor. Thank you for helping the Movement Centre. And for all of our listeners or audience, we're trying to raise over £5 between now and Christmas. So if you'd like to hear more about the bauble campaign, do let us know, drop us a line. And in the meantime, sort of to say thank you, James, is there anything else that you feel we need to talk about in terms of Falkus Joinery?
No, in terms of the charity, yeah, like you say, it's great to be able to sponsor and contribute to the cause. It's a great charity, and yeah, hopefully we can raise more than we did, or more than you did back in 2019. At a time when it's great this time of year for the children to sort of, I mean, they get, like, they're sort of reliant on this charity, aren't they, for their rehabilitation. So I think it's great to raise as much as we can, to give them sort of a bit more of a Christmas present. I mean,
a bit of a boost, and you've hit the nail on the head. You know, local authority provision, central government provision, in terms of helping them, is pretty much zero now, whereas 10 years ago it was probably 60-70% of funding.
Yeah.
So they rely on giving, and they're based on the Welsh borders in Oswestry. It's pretty groundbreaking stuff. They're the only charity that does this thing called targeted training, which is basically a combination of intense physiotherapy and building frames for kids to get them on their feet, which then allows movement, and it allows certain parts of the body, like hips, to form properly, which then means as they get older they don't end up with health issues. And you know, you hear amazing stories where, because of the work they've done, kids who ordinarily wouldn't be walking are now walking, whether it's assisted or not. So it's a great charity. We've always supported them, and yeah, anybody who'd like to contribute, anybody who'd love a bauble, we would welcome it. And yeah, thank you once again to Falkus Joinery for your support and help with that.
Yeah, no, you're welcome, and yeah, we're grateful that we can help.
Perfect. Well, look, James, thank you for joining us today, and have a great Christmas, and we wish you all the best for the new year. Thanks, James.
And yourself. Thank you, Tony. See ya.